Hello everybody and welcome to the Metal Pack Pod, the only podcast dedicated to the global metal packaging industry. Today we welcome Michael Mapes, CEO of Trivium Packaging. Over the past 15 years, Michael has been leading packaging businesses globally. Prior to Trivium, he was CEO at Exal Corporation, where he led the transformation of the company into a global leader in premium aluminium packaging. Michael was also president at Decentis Global and held senior leadership roles at Grief for approximately 10 years. Michael is a graduate of Northwestern University, where he received his BS in Industrial Engineering. In addition to this, he attended Harvard Business School and the London Business School too. He is also a member of the Young Presidents Organisation. We appreciate Michael taking time out of his day to speak with a metal packager, so I hope you enjoy the episode, everybody. Hi, Michael. Well, thanks very much for joining me. I appreciate you're a very, very busy man. So it's a real pleasure to get you on the podcast today. As customary with the Metal Pack Pod, we've got a set of quick-fire questions. So if you can just give me a one phrase or one sentence answer, that would be terrific. First of all, what is your favourite metal packaging product ever?
Well, first, Alex, thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate the opportunity. My favorite metal packaging product for sure is the aluminum threaded beverage bottle. Every time I hold the container and have a drink out of it, it makes me feel happy.
Absolutely. Your favourite personality from the industry that you've worked with?
Tom Shupak. Tom Shupak's been in the industry for over 30 years. He's a veteran in our Youngstown facility. And not only has he been behind some of the most innovative packages out there, including the aluminum beverage bottle, but he's a real role model for the industry. And his dedication and passion for metal packaging is what really makes a difference.
What about the old or new normal? I hate the term, but what do you think?
Well, my fourth grade math skills have certainly been put to the test over the past year. But if you look at the new versus the old, I think it's going to be a combination going forward where you'll have some work from home, but more agile office environment where folks go back to work and figure out how to work virtually as well as together in teams.
Absolutely. It looks like the hybrid model, I think, from my personal point of view anyway. Proudest achievement in the industry?
For me, my proudest achievements, quite frankly, is raising my 5 kids successfully to be good people with my high school sweetheart. So there's no challenge bigger than that for me personally.
Oh, that's great to hear. And the last one, what do you say the biggest challenge for the metal packaging industry moving forward into this year and beyond?
Raising awareness of sustainability, the benefits of metal packaging, and the fact that it recycles forever. We've got to get that awareness out to consumers in a much bigger way.
So, Michael, I just want to touch upon something you mentioned there with your quick-fire questions. You mentioned sustainability, obviously a huge topic within the industry. I mean, do you think the conversation has now moved on for metal packaging professionals from just simply getting the message out there? Or do you think the likes of carbon footprint emissions are now a big topic within the industry? I mean, I'll be interested to hear your take on things about how we get that message across and whether it's just too simplistic now just to mention that we need to mention to consumers that we are sustainable, because my personal take is that, yeah, we've moved on now and we need to try and have a more complex approach to the matter.
Well, sustainability has definitely come to age. Consumers see right through the greenwashing and they want companies to take real and holistic action. Consumers and brands are more aware now of commitments like the Paris Agreement, and they understand why it matters. I mean, brands are considering sustainability as part of their packaging decisions, need to rely on life cycle assessment tools in their decision-making process. We want to expand on that thinking to account for circularity. That means also factoring in the impact of packaging materials on the waste stream and improving shelf life. I mean, there's a lot of factors to consider to get the full picture, and that makes sustainability complex. So we think consumers and brands are ready to embrace that complexity.
Absolutely. I mean, at the recent webinar for the Metal Packaging Europe and European Aluminium, they've got their ambition to have 100% beverage can recycling in Europe. I know you guys are more on the food can side, but I'm quite curious to hear your take on this. With regards to trying penetrating into consumers and hearing that message about resonating with consumers about their opinion on sustainability and things like that, do you think we need to go beyond that message? So looking at maybe things like TV advertisement, influencers on social media, do you think we need to maybe
just rethink things and look to try and do things a little bit more innovative?
I do think that is important to engage consumers with celebrities, with different advertising, and ultimately, I think it's important for brands to play a bigger role as well and getting that message across. So it's not just going to be one avenue, though. It's not going to be just packaging companies or brands. It's going to be continued pressure from governments and, quite frankly, consumers, networks of their own friends and individual influencers that make a difference to them personally.
Absolutely. And I know Trivium have got a very good sustainability record, won a couple of awards recently. So I just think it would be a nice opportunity to, if you can just provide a bit of an overview on what you guys are doing with regards to your sustainability message.
Sustainability for Trivium is part of our overall strategy. It's embedded in everything that we do. And we think that we have the unique opportunity to not only make a difference in people's lives through products we provide, which obviously, whether we're talking about food packaging or products that provide health and wellness benefit to consumers, but ultimately, we have a product that recycles forever. So we want to make sure that, we're getting our employees excited about going to work every day, making a difference in everyday life for consumers, and that message is getting carried across to brand owners and to end consumers, because the products that we make truly are going to leave the planet in a better place than where we're at today, because our products recycle forever.
Absolutely. I mean, has that been a definite target for you guys? I mean, I've noticed in the past 6 months, PR marketing team have been very active on social media and getting that message across. And for me, it's quite refreshing to hear, because the can making industry has always been very conservative and, dare I say it, secretive in its approach. Don't want to give too much away. And I think maybe things are changing, and the pandemic has certainly helped that. Is that, from your perspective, is that something you've been looking to try and encourage?
Absolutely. At Trivium, we have an obligation to really shape the industry in metal packaging, and we want to be at the forefront in sustainability. We think we're positioned well with our portfolio on infinitely recyclable packaging products, and now is our time. There's never been a better time to get the message out there and make sure that consumers, brand owners, and governments see the benefits of using metal packaging, because it truly does make a positive impact on the planet.
Yeah, I mean, there is argument to say that it is a perfect storm brewing at the moment for the metal packaging industry. We're seeing perhaps up to 4% growth in food cans until 2025. Curious to hear from your point of view, is the growth here, is that entirely due to the pandemic, would you say, or are there other factors at play?
Well, there's no doubt that the pandemic has led to an acceleration in the food can over the past year. But if you look at it, consumers are eating more at home, but we expect that trend to continue as well, even post-pandemic. We also see over the course of the past year that, a number of products have accelerated in metal packaging, whether it be health and sanitization type products, but also things like pet food. People have bought more pets, it seems like, over the last year. A lot of new furry animals at homes to keep people company. And there are going to be pockets that continue to grow in the future, like pet food or like coffee, for example, that's moving away from plastic and back into metal packaging. So we see not only pandemic trends that are certainly a tailwind at the moment, but we also see that a number of consumers are coming into the metal package format for the first time. A lot of millennials getting to try old tried and true brands like Chef Boyardee, eating those ready meal products at home. And post-COVID, we also see that consumers are going to be more at home. I mean, they're not going to completely return to the office. So you're certainly going to see some sort of shift, if you will, higher levels than pre-COVID, but maybe not as high as the early months of the pantry loading in the US in particular.
Yeah, quite curious there. You mentioned pet food, and I was reading an article recently in the media where they were saying about there is pet food shortages, and that this could be the opportunity for the can, for the food can with regards to pet food. Is that something you guys are looking to try and take advantage of? I mean, what steps are you looking to put in place to try and capitalize on this global growth for the food can?
Well, we do see pet food as being an important area of growth. It's a product that fits very nicely into the metal can. People love their pets and they want them to have healthy and high quality food. You see that trend toward more humanization of food and metal packaging. Very often single serve cans provide that and give consumers a premium feel to their pet food. I mean, they love their pets and want to make sure that they take care of them. So we're well positioned for that.
And also, food cans has always been the poor relation, I should say, to beverage cans. And particularly, you've seen the craft beer market absolute boom in the last 10 years, canned wine now, and also the hard seltzer market in the US, which is taking things by storm. And I can see that moving forward into Europe in the next 2 or 3 years. So do you think there's an opportunity to make the food can sexy, so to speak? Or are there any things that the industry is doing that perhaps that we're not aware of, or just curious on your take on things?
Absolutely. There are a number of different trends and initiatives that'll help make canned food sexy again. Firstly, there's this sustainability angle. And in 2020, we produced a Buying Green report. Again, that just to recall, that's a survey conducted by Boston Consulting Group that includes responses of more than 15,000 US, Europe, and South America consumers. That was our second time launching the report, and we'll do it again this year. But in that 2020 Buying Green report, we found that 67% of consumers identify as environmentally aware, and 74% would pay more for sustainability packaging. Metal recycles forever, and arguably it's one of the easier packaging materials to recycle. So when looking at the entire life cycle of packaging, metal is a difficult material to beat in terms of sustainability. The key challenge will be to create the needed awareness among consumers, and there are several ways to do that. For instance, we see high caliber chefs that embrace sustainability benefits of canned foods, from how it preserves nutrients to recyclability. An example, if you look at a recent chef, Michelin-starred chef at Rijks in Amsterdam, he just recently launched a new canned food range called Snurt, which definitely has a high cool factor. And another way is to ensure that we really leverage a space and printing surface on the cans themselves. It's really prime real estate to deliver the sustainability message. So increase shelf life and reduce food waste are additional sustainability benefits that consumers are becoming much more aware of. And increased communication is really key to metal packaging itself, which can be an important channel for that communication. So at the end of the day, we see a real opportunity for food cans to be sexy again, and we're well positioned to take advantage of that.
I do hope you're correct. I'm interested there. You said about 74% of consumers will be happy to pay more for a sustainability-based product. Do you think that is going to be the case after the pandemic? Because there is the school of thought that people losing jobs, global job market may be tricky, and then people are sustainably minded until if they have the money, and if perhaps they don't have the money, then they're just going to make the choice depending on cost. Is that something you guys are mindful of and concerned of?
I'm not concerned about that at all. The sustainability trend it's not a fad. It's here to stay. And the pressure that consumers are putting on it, the pressure that governments, brand owners, this is not something that is just a flavor of the month. You see, major commitments on sustainability, and quite frankly, an awareness about our earth that's never been as high as it is right now today. So we only see that trend continuing, and it's important for us to lead the way, because the companies that are at the forefront really have the opportunity to shape the world here.
I'm interested over the last 12 months with the global pandemic. It's been hard enough for us mere mortals working from home, and the adapts that we've had to make. But leading a global business, it must have been tricky. How have you found the challenges of the past 12 months? It must have been pretty tough initially as a company to keep the show on the road.
Yeah, you have to recall that Trivium just came together about 18 months ago. And, shortly after just forming, the global pandemic hit. So we were in the middle of integrating two companies and beginning the transformation underway. And all of a sudden had to make sure that we were well positioned to be successful during the COVID pandemic. And that's what happened. We quickly assessed our operations, made sure that we had the right supply chain agility in place, made sure that we had our employees protected, that we're working in a safe operating environment, keeping social distancing in place and the right protective measures, which was vital because the products that we produce really are critical to everyday life, from food packaging to sanitization products and health products. We knew that we had to get our products produced and out there to brand owners so that we could get into the consumer's hands. So what we saw during the past 12 months is really the resilience of the portfolio that we have, of the supply chain, the manufacturing footprint that we have, and quite frankly, the dedication and hard work and the passion of our nearly 8,000 employees that all came together to really make sure that we delivered quality products to our customers.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you mentioned the fact that, we're now 2 years since the Ardagh Exal merger. I mean, where we are now, are you satisfied with how things have gone since that merger? Obviously, you'd always be keen for more and to improve things further, but would you have taken this looking back 2 years ago?
Absolutely. I couldn't be more happy with where we're at today. We're far ahead of where I thought we would be. We're not only executing against the plan that we put out there, but again, we've proven the resilience of this portfolio in good times and in tough times, if you will, and really just proven how important metal packaging is to the world and what a tremendous opportunity we have in front of us. So I'm super excited about it. I think the future is incredibly bright for Trivium and for the metal packaging industry. And I couldn't be more honored and humbled to be a part of this just phenomenal team here.
No, that's really, really refreshing to hear. And I mean, is there anything you can share with us for the next few years that Trivium have in the offering? Is there any exclusives that you can provide the metal packager here about what you guys are working on?
Well, we're focused completely on transforming our business to be the leader in metal packaging. And, it starts with making sure that we have all the right people that are passionate, that are energetic, that know where we're headed, how we're going to get there, and what it means for each of them, so that we can focus on our customers, that we can deliver the best quality packaging products day in and day out, and also drive innovation. We think that there's a tremendous opportunity in front of us to make cans cool again, if you will, and come up with some really cool products like that threaded bottle, that aluminum threaded bottle that I talked about. I mean, really opportunities not only on beverage, but in personal care and beauty, for example, to replace a lot of these single-use plastic products that are out there destroying the ocean. So we have a tremendous opportunity in front of us at Trivium, and we're focused on making sure that we deliver those innovations to our customers to deliver a really great experience to consumers that's good for the environment.
No, absolutely. I just want to focus on yourself now, really. I mean, quite curious to know what, certainly in the pandemic and moving forward, I mean, what's your average day like? I mean, is it back-to-back Zoom calls? I mean, Zoomitis is definitely a thing at the moment. What is your day-to-day like?
Yeah, today in the face of the global pandemic, particularly here in the Netherlands, where we can't travel to the factories and get out and see customers like we normally would do. I mean, a lot of back-to-back Zoom calls, a lot of, talking with customers, talking with employees, doing actually factory plant reviews with our plant managers and the teams, where it's surprising how much you can actually get done on a Zoom call and how much you can actually see. So yeah, it's full of customers, it's full of plants and our employees and board members and all different stakeholders, whether it be internal and external parties, to help build a great company here.
I'm interested to know your take. A couple of people have mentioned this to me recently about like the back-to-back Zoom calls and meetings. Without having that face-to-face interaction, you would think things would be faster and more decisions are made, but they have a different opinion that actually it slows things down because you have a meeting and then you have a meeting to discuss a meeting, and the actual, because you're not having that face-to-face, maybe particularly this being a global industry, you would travel several hours to have a face-to-face meeting with someone, and which could last several hours, and you come to a decision where actually, because you can just click of a button speak to anyone across the world whenever you like, it actually slows things down. I'll just be interested to know what your opinion is, having had to have adapted during the past few months.
I think Zoom has its pros and cons. On the one hand, you are able to get a lot of meetings accomplished without flying all over the world to meet people in person, but nothing ever is going to replace an in-person meeting and that face-to-face connection that you have. So you're always going to need to do a combination of both. But what Zoom has proven is the fact that we can do meetings over video conference. And that will play an important part of doing business in the future. But nevertheless, it's not going to replace the face-to-face. I can't wait to be out in our factories, outside of the areas that I'm allowed to travel in at the moment and, get in front of customers face-to-face. So I think you had to have heard that ding on the side.
I did. That's no problem at all. We can carry on. I mean, that's one of the unfortunate things about Zoom and Microsoft Teams is that you do have the notification world that we now live in, isn't it? With it's either your mobile or it's your tablet or your phone. It's especially here I'm working upstairs in the office at home, and then my wife's working downstairs in the kitchen. So throughout the day, you always hear the some sort of notification going off. So it's just the interesting world that we now live in, really. So
absolutely.
Yes, I just want to round things off, really, and definitely appears that you have sharing a great deal of optimism for the next few years in the industry. Is there a danger, though, that we can get complacent? Maybe we just think that because of the pandemic, because we have the products, the sustainability message is there. I mean, that it's not going to be an easy ride. The likes of PET, plastics industry are going to get their act together, and you are going to be seeing plastic sustainable products, and they are going to certainly focus on that message and make it harder for us to have a free ride at things. So do you think it's a case of make hay while the sun shines, or do you think it's a case of just hammering that sustainability message?
Well, there's no doubt that other industries are moving their sustainability agenda forward. They're not standing still. I mean, plastic is working on solution day and night. Obviously, they've got a uphill battle to climb here. But metal packaging, we've got to take our game to the next level. We have so much more that we need to do to really get that sustainability message out to consumers. It's astonishing how many consumers don't know that metal packaging recycles forever. And we've got to get that message out loud and clear to all consumers, make sure that brand owners are consciously aware of it. And that's on us. We've got to work together to make sure that message gets heard.
That's a rallying call that the industry should certainly take care of. So I really appreciate your time, Michael, and all the best for the future. Thanks very much.
Great, Alex. Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Well, that was a real honour to learn about how Trivium have adapted during the pandemic, and also hear about the company's sustainability credentials. The passion that Michael has for the industry is really plain to see. I think my overriding takeaway from the podcast was his optimism and passion for metal packaging. It really is infectious. From a Trivium point of view, I've been personally impressed by how the company have been open and willing to communicate with the media and engage with consumers. In an industry that's traditionally very secretive, I think Trivium exemplify the new era of metal packaging. An openness and an acceptance, almost duty to be the guardians, to promote cans for the next generation of consumers. Please do like the podcast and give us a positive rating on socials. We look forward to seeing you very soon.